We're back for our best bets for UFC Qatar from Doha, Qatar specifically, this Saturday. UFC Fight Night, Tsarukyan versus Hooker. It's a 14-fight card, and I have found the 5 best bets for these 14 fights. Now, folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more UFC content here on the channel. There is no UFC card next week, so we will be back in a couple weeks for UFC 323, Dvalishvili versus Yan. Full card predictions and best bets. PFL returns that week as well, so we will be back in 2 weeks for more predictions. Might do some content next week just to fill the void, obviously, with no card next week, so stay on the lookout for that. But regardless, here are our 5 best bets for UFC Fight Night, Tsarukyan versus Hooker. Now, folks, again, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more UFC content and MMA content in general here on the channel. On the main channel, Greedo plays daily NBA best bets, daily college basketball as best bets, weekly NFL and college football predictions and best bets as well, as we move on now to the first of our 5 best bets for this UFC Qatar card, kicking things off with Kyoji Horiguchi. I do not know why Horiguchi is such an underdog. Did we forget? Is that what it is? Do we not watch Ryzen? Do we not watch Bellator? Do we think all of a sudden he's washed up? Those are the questions I have. Why is Horiguchi such an underdog here? Plus 170 to me is absurd. And that's legitimate. That's what the line on FanDuel is. He opened as like a plus 130 dog, and now he's all up to plus 170, which just doesn't make sense. He keeps climbing as a dog. I just don't know. I'm checking it right now. He's like, okay, he's plus 166 now as underdog on FanDuel. So maybe that line's coming back down again. But when I made the graphic a couple hours ago, it was at plus 170. And you're going to get it around the plus 170 range if it's plus 160, plus 165, whatever. I still don't understand why Horiguchi is this big of an underdog. I don't get it. It's not like Tsarukyan is that good. He's good. He's not, though, over the top, absurd amount of, greatness out of a Russian, Russian heavy pressure wrestler. He's a Sambo guy, is Ulanbekov, but he's not going to dominate you on the ground. Really not. I mean, Azat Moscom was winning on the ground against Tiger Ulanbekov. Well, kinda. He got the takedowns, and I know Ulanbekov flipped him a couple times, but that's my thing. Ulanbekov's not a straight-up wrestler. He can get takedowns. Have we not seen Horiguchi fight? Kyoji's got good takedown defense. And, okay, well, Patchy Mix put him on his back. I think the Patchy Mix thing is so weird because if you've never watched Patchy Mix up until his UFC debut, and I guess if you watch his final Bellator fight against Magomedov, you would think Patchy Mix just sucks. But when Patchy Mix was in his prime, which is crazy, I'm talking about a 31-year-old Patchy Mix about in his prime, when he was in his prime Bellator and beating everybody, that dude, there was reason we were talking about, Patchy Mix beats Bautista, title fight. There's a reason for that. That's how good Patchy Mix was at one point in time. And unfortunately, again, he has just been absolutely horrible in the UFC. But the fact that Horiguchi got out-grappled by Patchy Mix, I'm not concerned about at all. Not in the slightest. This is a guy who just won the Ryzen Flyweight Championship, beat Sergio Pettis, gets his get back for the initial Pettis loss that he was, by the way, up 3-0 in before he got spinning back fist, really for nothing, and then won his last fight and defended the Ryzen Championship again. He's like a minus 1,400 favorite, but defending the belt in late on New Year's Eve in 2024. I don't understand why Ulanbekov's such a favorite. I do not understand. I do not understand why. I mean, Ulanbekov barely gets by Moscom. He wins. I'm not going to deny that he didn't win. He won that fight, but doesn't do it all that impressively. He just gets by Clayton Carpenter. I have it 2-1. Okay, I have Carpenter winning around in that fight. Carpenter scrambles fairly well with him. He rolls fairly well with Ulanbekov. Ulanbekov subs Cody Durden. Awesome. Guys, Tiger Ulanbekov lost to Tim Elliott. Oh, it's 3 years ago. Okay. I don't care. I mean, Horiguchi, I still believe is very elite. I made the argument when I made my predictions video that Horiguchi should be fighting for the belt right now, or should be getting a next fight. If he wins, he should be fighting the winner of Van Pantoja. They're not getting him a title shot, obviously, if he beats Ulanbekov, but I'm saying that's where Horiguchi should have been. All that hype that there was on Kai Asakura, and I understand it. Asakura is a massive star in Japan. His YouTube channel is absolutely massive, and his social media presence is massive in Japan. Who beat Kai Asakura in their last fight? It was Kyoji Horiguchi. Asakura got him the first time. Year later, Horiguchi TKO'd him. in the first round. When he had both the Ryzen and the Bellator championships. I think people forget how good Horiguchi truly is. Either that, or it's just unknown how good Horiguchi is. Plus striker, good defensive wrestling, all around great grappling. He doesn't have a real weakness. If anything, I would say it is against dominant wrestlers. I don't think Ulanbekov is that, guys. I just don't think so. Ulanbekov's got good scrambles. He can, he's got good sambo. He's great in scrambles. Obviously, Horiguchi's going to try to keep the fight standing, and that's where I think he's going to win. But it's not like, I think Horiguchi's overwhelmed at all. No way. He is right in this fight with Ulanbekov. It should be even odds. And at plus 170 or around so, the value is way too good to pass up on. Give me the former Ryzen and Bellator champion and former title challenger in the UFC, Kyoji Horiguchi. The guy is 21-2 combined in the UFC and Ryzen. Put some respect on his name. He's 34-5 in general. He's not losing to Ulanbekov here. Give me Kyoji Horiguchi to come back and be successful in his UFC return. Guys, Horiguchi also, too, he's a smaller flyweight, which actually helps him against Ulanbekov. Shorter to the ground, should be able to fight off takedowns easier. It's going to be difficult for Ulanbekov to really hold and take down Horiguchi in the first place. Everything to me goes to Kyoji here. Kyoji Horiguchi moneyline, plus 170. On to our second best bet of the video. We go to something that I feel like is absolutely automatic and completely automatic here. And I don't know why the odds are even at this. I thought this was going to be like minus 200. Because considering the circumstances, obviously I'm talking about Abdulrahman Yakayv taking on Rafael Quera. Considering the circumstances, I thought that that this would be, absolutely horrible odds. But somehow we get Abdulrahman Yakayv to win this fight by knockout at minus 140, which it doesn't make sense to me. Because I'm looking at the odds. Okay, so if you want to take Abdulrahman Yakayv inside the distance, it's minus 600. Okay, first round win is minus 170. First round knockout's plus 135, but then first just knockout in general is minus 140? Yeah? I don't get why it's at this. No, don't get me wrong. It's minus 140, great odds, like just in general. No, it's not the best. But for something like this, which seems like an automatic, all day. Rafael Quera is the worst fighter on the UFC roster. We went to this a couple months ago in Quera's last fight where he fought Julius Juicebox Walker, where Walker could unfortunately not find a finish in 15 minutes. That was really bad, but he won pretty easily, did Walker. Quera is, again, a straight punching bag. He does nothing other than high striking base or high striking defense, and he just sits there. And sits there. And then when he kind of lowers it and he tries to throw, he's getting boom, boom, hit in the face, and he's just, he gets knocked out. That was one way to put it. If you've watched Quera fight, though, and I don't need to break it down again because I've broken down Quera fights all the time, but we talked about it in the predictions video too. He just stands there and gets knocked out against Aslan and Bukauskas. The same thing's going to happen against Abdulrahman Yakayv. My only concern is that he submits him. That is my one concern. Yakayv, 3 knockout victories, 3 submissions in the past. This is a guy who comes over from Aries. He was the Aries FC light heavyweight champion. Won his 2 fights in Aries, both by submission, one by guillotine and one rear naked choke. So that is a little bit of the concern I understand. Look at his last fight, though, against Alec Lorenz on the Contender Series. It is a quick knockout. Alec Lorenz, excuse me. Against Alec Lorenz, it's a first-round knockout in 30 seconds. Just like that's over. It is a big strike early and just puts him down and finishes him. There's a knee in there as well. Again, it is domination from Yakayv. Again, why take Quera down? I know, again, he's, has some striking prowess. He has 8 knockouts in the past. Well, I haven't seen it so far in the UFC. Julius Walker, I don't think Julius Walker's the highest level. I think he's all right, but I don't think he's like that all that high level. Julius Walker stood right in front of Quera and just picked him apart for 15 minutes and really showed no regard for anything coming back his way. He basically, what Walker did against Quera, he challenged him to knock him out, essentially. Julius Walker stood there and said, okay, you can't hurt me. I felt your power. It's nothing I'm concerned about, and I'm just going to keep throwing back because legitimately nothing you offer me concerns me. And it worked. Walker just teed him up for 15 minutes. If Yakayv hits Quera that many times, Quera is going down and getting knocked out, okay? The only concern, yes, is the submission game. If I'm Yakayv, though, Okay, yes, is the easiest path to victory grappling? Maybe, but honestly, maybe not. Again, maybe Yakayv probably feels more comfortable grappling. But here's the thing, and I know Julius Walker took down quera a bunch of times, and he just held him down. Guys, when Walker let go of the hands in the third round, again, in the limited time that the fight was on the feet, Walker stood in front of him and just beat his ass, and then obviously took him down. But in the third round, Walker knocks down quera, and I'm watching the fight, I'm like, that's what should have happened in the first 3 minutes. So you look at every other quera fight in the UFC, he's getting knocked out in the first round. So if you're Yakayv, I'd assume you've watched tape. I assume that you have watched quera fight before and you've seen how he operates. Knock him out. And additionally, what better way is there to establish yourself as a UFC fighter and get, Dana just signed you. They put you on a fight night card in Qatar, first ever card in Qatar. Promotion likes you enough to not put you in the Apex with other, Dana White's Contender Series fighters like Steven Asplund, who's making his debut in the Apex, or, who else is making their debut in the Apex? Cesare Shashek. They like you enough to say, okay, go fight in front of a crowd. I've seen those hotels, by the way, they're staying at in Qatar. They're very nice. They like you enough to put you all the way across the country. Knock the guy out. Make a name for yourself. Don't lay on him for 15 minutes. I mean, and the thing is, it's not like, again, like, oh, there's a chance he can knock him out. Like, he will knock him out if he just stands there. So 100%, if Yakayv just fights this fight, with any bit of an edge and tries to, get the wheels turning in the UFC, he'll knock out quera in the first round. It's not even close. Abdurrahman Yakayv, first round knockout, but we don't even need the first round. We can just get knocked out in general. Minus 140 for Yakayv all day long in his first ever UFC fight against Rafael quera. On now to our third best bet of the video. We go to a 2-leg parlay as we've got Mertek Orlbalai. Make sure I got that one. I always butcher his name. Mertbek Orlbalai taking on Jack Hermansson, taking Orlbalai in the first half of the parlay, and then Volkan No Time Oezdemir for the second half of the parlay. Yes, again, I am going through, we are picking each of the last 4 fights. Oh, actually, real quick, I feel like it isn't appropriate. I do pick the new fight. Spivak's out of the fight against Gaziv, and in comes Waldo. Ooh, I should probably talk about this real quick. I don't like the fight at all for Gaziv. Good on Waldo. Very surprised he took this fight. Such short notice. I get it, short notice. Guys, Waldo off the couch should beat Gaziv, and it sucks because I'm big on the, Shamil the Blob Gaziv hype train, and I actually hope Gaziv wins because it'd be great to be in the top 5. He's not beating Waldo, guys. He is Waldo, I think, is gonna break Gaziv. I'm going Waldo second round TK. No, I'm gonna go Waldo first round knockout, man. I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the video. I should have talked about that. Yeah. How did Waldo get to Qatar so quickly? I'm shocked he's fighting again. This dude fought 3 weeks ago. Good on Waldo, man. This is his 5th fight of the year. I'm very impressed by Waldo, honestly. Anyways, I just thought I'd get that out the way. I'm not picking a winner, though. That fight's not good enough to bet on it. Dude, I don't even know if we have odds yet. Don't bet on that fight. Waldo's off the couch, 21 days notice, or 21 days after his last fight, just took the fight on short notice, and same thing with Gaziv. We just don't know. Anyways, our third best bet again is the 2-leg parlay, Volkan Oezdemir and Mertbek Orlbalai. Now, I've expressed my questions and doubts about Jack Hermansson fighting on this card, and that's the fact that he's fighting at 170 pounds. Now, obviously, we have not seen weigh-ins just yet, and I know, again, those are going to be tomorrow. I assume Hermansson's going to make weight. I have not heard anything that Jack is trending in the wrong direction, at least, again, to making the 170-pound allowance. However, you'd never know. Again, and I went over this on Sunday, he's never fought at welterweight, ever. In his career, he has never fought at 170 pounds. What are you going to be your first time out in this weight class? Against an absolute killer in Orlbalai, man. A guy who gets into wars and comes out of them. I guess he didn't beat Rebecki, but fought really competitively against Rebecki in that war. Beat Elvis Brenner, knocked down Elvis Brenner in a very good fight, submitted Eros Medic in his first fight, just submitted Tafik Messiah via Kimura in the first round in Baku, Azerbaijan. How much damage, A, can Hermansson take in general? B, how much can he take at 170 pounds? At the beginning of the week, I took first round knockout for Orlbalai, and I feel the exact same way on it. I still think Orlbalai is going to knock out Hermansson fairly quickly. Hermansson did get knocked out 5 months ago. It's been enough time for the brain and shin to heal. I completely understand, but yeah, I wouldn't want to fight down a weight class and fight this guy. I'd want a way easier fight. Or if I'm Hermansson, I want a pure wrestler. I know, again, Orbalai will wrestle too. He will strike, though, and he can knock you out as well. That's a problem, you know? I would want a straight jiu-jitsu guy. That's not what you're getting here. You're getting a guy who's more than willing to tee off on the feet with you. So, honestly, I absolutely hate it for Jack Hermansson. It ultimately feels like, okay, we're kind of trying to do away with Jack. If I'm Hermansson, I'd way much rather have like a Gunnar Nelson at 170 pounds. That, okay, you're talking. Because now I get a fight, you know, a guy's not going to strike with me. I feel I have a better grappling chance than I'm a better grappler than him. I can beat him down there. This is just brutal, man. This is a horrible fight for Hermansson. So give me Orbalai. That's the first half of the parlay. Again, this will cash in at -105. Second leg of the parlay is going to be Volkan No Time Oezdemir. Give me Oezdemir here to win this fight against Alonzo Menefield. This one's as simple as I don't believe Menefield's on Volkan's level. Don't think so. I don't think Alonzo Menefield is on the level of a Volkan Oezdemir. Volkan Oezdemir has fought world champions, and sure, again, DC has been very, you know, I don't want to say critical, but he's laughed a little bit at the Volkan Oezdemir thing recently. But Volkan, 2 fights ago, just knocked out Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker went to China and knocked out Mingyang Zhang, and I understand MMA math doesn't always work like that, but I think we still need to realize how good Volkan Oezdemir is at this point of his career. He fought strike for strike with Olberg, and that's just Olberg's thing. I know he just knocked out Dominic Reyes, and Reyes let us all down, because now we got to watch a Carlos Olberg title fight in a couple months, probably. But you know, Olberg and Oezdemir are right there with each other. And yeah, Olberg probably won, unlike the fight that he had against Jan Blachowicz, but whatever. Oezdemir is competitive, man, and Oezdemir, again, is still not that bad. He's still a top 7-ish, top 8-ish light heavy. Alonzo Menefield is barely in the top 15, in my opinion. I mean, his best win ever is who? Dustin Jacoby? Because as soon as Menefield got propelled to fight the top guys, Olberg knocked him out in 12 seconds, and Menefield fought the dumbest game plan I've ever seen. And then Murzakanov, who, again, the professional, close to a title shot right now, knocked him out in the second round. Sure, back-to-back wins over Julius Walker and Umar Sy, but come on now. I'm not confident at all in Menefield in the spot. Oezdemir, to me, has the way better hands, and he should be able to piece up Menefield in the feet. And I don't think it's going to end, obviously, like the Olberg fight that Menefield had against, obviously, Carlos Olberg, where he just ran in there and just said, oh, I'm going to swing from right here, and I get knocked out. No. Oezdemir's going to pick him apart and knock him out late in the first round, and I feel very confident about that. So, 2-leg parlay, Volkan Oezdemir, Murtabek, Orbalai, -105 on the 2-leg parlay. Okay, on to our fourth best bet of the video. We go to the co-main event. Ian Machado, Gary by decision. Yes, by decision. Why am I completely picking an exact, method and whatnot? I just don't see Ian Gary winning in any other way. I know it's a tough game and a rough game to play. I understand, which, we're just picking him off of one pathway. And if he, lands that one shot on Bilal or catches Bilal in the sub, which I don't think he's going to, then we don't win. To me, again, when I look at this fight, and I wasn't going to include this in the best bets part of the video, I wasn't, but I picked Ian Machado Gary to win, and I feel pretty confident about Machado Gary to win, honestly. If he's going to win, he's not going to knock a guy out. He's not going to knock Bilal out. I need to clarify. I think Ian Gary has knockout potential. He's not knocking Bilal out. And there's a reason the fight's only 15 minutes. I don't know if there's a reason, but it helps Ian Gary so much that the fight's only 15 minutes. Because I believe Bilal would get better as this fight goes on. And we saw Ian Machado Gary fighting for dear life. Obviously, you had the whole, the crawling situation against Carlos Prates. But Machado Gary found a way to win. And again, I respect Ian Machado Gary. The dude is a fighter, and he steps up. I know he's been very big this week on, fight week, with he's signing autographs, and his son, what am I going to do to him? I'm going to knock him out, right? Like, Ian Gary's been very adamant on the fact that he's going to get a knockout. Ian Gary hasn't knocked anybody out since May of 2023. He's a great points fighter. He is, 100%. The striking is great. He showed in the Shavkat fight, of course, again, had that rear naked in the 5th round against Shavkat. Like, he has the jiu-jitsu and wrestling capabilities as well. Obviously, though, Ian Machado Gary is not going to be an aggressor grappling-wise and wrestling-wise against Bilal Muhammad. That's the only chance he can give Bilal Muhammad to win. If Ian Machado Gary stuffs takedowns, which I actually believe he's going to do, and maintain distance, which I believe he's going to do, he should pick apart Bilal Muhammad at range. And I think Bilal's still really good. I really think so. At the same time, though, Muhammad is 37, and we do say this a lot, too. It's hard to get back it's hard to start climbing the mountain after you've already got to the pinnacle. It's tough. And that's what Bilal's facing right now. And also, too, for Bilal, what is the peak now? What is the pinnacle? You've already said you won't fight Islam, to the point where if Bilal had beaten JDM, Islam would have had to have fought Ilia Topuria. And I understand, again, I believe that the friendship that Bilal has with Islam and those guys, it's way more one-sided. Like, Bilal believes a lot more in the friendship than those guys do. Obviously, again, they're all Ali Abdelaziz guys. I get it, but I feel like Islam still would have wanted to do it, but Bilal obviously wouldn't want to do it. Now, though, Bilal's a challenger, a potential challenger for Islam. He's not going to fight him. So the future for Bilal's at 85, but here's the thing, again, you're still fighting at 170. You'd probably be undersized at 185. I believe, honestly, win or lose, I think he's going to fight Drikas at 185 next. That's the only move for Bilal next. He's already talked crap about Drikas, about how Drikas not allowed in Chicago. Of course, everyone, we all have to check in with Bilal if we're going to go to Chicago. We got to let him know. But anyways, I think it's his next fight. I think he'll be way undersized for Duplessis. I think Drikas would absolutely maul Bilal at 185. Maybe not. I think that's a really easy fight for DDP. But regardless, though, there's no future for Bilal at 170 pounds with Islam being the champion. If Jack had won, okay, yeah, there's potential. Islam's not giving up that belt. I mean, Michael Morales is going to knock him out? I don't think so. Even though Morales, I think, is going to be interesting. I think, though, again, I think Islam's going to have that fight. I still believe the toughest fight for Islam at 170 pounds is probably Sean Brady. Maybe it's Usman, but those guys obviously aren't going to get title fights, and Brady obviously just lost. I think stylistically, again, I'm not saying Brady's better than Morales, he just got knocked out by him, but that's the stylistically harder matchup for Islam is 100% Sean Brady than Michael Morales is, or even a Carlos Prates. I like Prates, guys, but Prates is going to get manhandled by Makhachev. That fight won't last more than 5 minutes. Makhachev will, we talk about Makhachev being boring, Makhachev will submit Prates in the very first round. Prates in the first round. Morales, I do believe, is a lot more interesting, but we'll wait for that. Anyways, Ian Gary should beat Bilal. Again, what is the motivation for Bilal here? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to repeat what Bilal said on the pre-fight press conference, and you can see it yourself. It's along the lines of the files that are going to be, that just are going to be dropping. I don't know. I mean, what we're gonna be? It's like a video game launch. We're all waiting for the files. Regardless, those, Bilal references those in his pre-fight press conference in the way that you would never expect it to be referenced. It's just like Bilal, like, how can I do this without not getting demonetized? Bilal references himself as the guy in the files. It's so weird, but he's not saying he's. Just watch it. I can't describe it here because I don't want to get demonetized by saying anything too crazy. Just look up Bilal Muhammad and you know the name I'm referring to, obviously. Regardless, what is the pinnacle now for Bilal Muhammad? There is no future at 170 pounds. What is the motivation? Ian Machado Gary's 28 and he's entering his prime and he's very good. Great defensive wrestling, great striking, great grappling. I don't know how he doesn't beat Bilal. And at the same time, he's not knocking Bilal out. I don't think anybody's knocking Bilal out right now. Okay, Bilal's chin has gotten better over his career. He's got a big head, I understand. Bilal eats damage fairly well. And look at all the shots Jack Della hit him with. And Bilal kept on fighting. I don't think you're putting away Muhammad. The only guy to ever knock out Muhammad was, it was Luque back at 205. That was 9 years ago. Yeah. Give me Ian Machado Gary. If he's going to win, he's going to win by decision. So give me that exactly. Ian Machado Gary by decision against Bilal Muhammad. On to our final best bet of the video. Automatic. We have 25 minutes for Arman Tsarukyan to put away Dan Hooker. He will put away Dan Hooker in 25 minutes. Guys, I'm telling you, this is such a stylistic levels fight, man. I mean, I'm telling you, Arman Tsarukyan is on a completely different level than Dan Hooker, and it's not close. It's not close. This is a mismatch. And maybe we're forgetting because, Arman hasn't fought in a while. And sure, he's still a massive favorite. If you want to straight up bet the fight, Arman's a minus 450 favorite. So obviously there's no value in that. But inside the distance, there's a lot of potential here. Minus 140 for Arman Tsarukyan to get a finish in 25 minutes. If Arman doesn't finish Dan Hooker, I'll be looking at Arman a little bit differently. I'll say that. If Arman can't finish Dan Hooker, I'm going to be like, whoa. You want to fight Ilya? Because then I'll say, okay, no, that fight should go to Patty. It should go to Justin Gaethje. Who's it going to go to? I don't know. I have a weird feeling the UFC... not a weird feeling. I think the UFC's already booked their title fight, for 324. I think it's Paddy. It might be Gagey. Who knows? I don't think Arman's going to be in that fight on that short notice, okay? Because that is in 2 months. Regardless, though, if Arman's anything of what he was prior to this long layoff, and he missed weight, obviously going to the Islam fight, it wasn't that he just injured his back. He will dominate Dan Hooker, guys. Dan Hooker should be nowhere near the top 5 of the UFC's lightweight division. He did not even beat Gamrot. I mean, Tapology does their own rankings, and they have Dan Hooker in 13th, and I agree. I would put Dan Hooker... I mean, okay, here's the thing. I can't with a straight face tell you Dan Hooker's the 16th. Well, like, you know, just because of the wins, I can't tell you Dan Hooker should be the 16th ranked lightweight in the world. But in my opinion, he did not beat Gamrot. So I believe, and his other wins are what? Jalen Turner, who just unretired, and then Claudio Puellos, who doesn't really fight and just fights off his back, you know, oh, get in my guard. Dan Hooker's wins, guys, are honestly not that big. He should be ranked 15th. Right now, I will name you 14 lightweights better than Dan Hooker. Ready? Okay. Grant Dawson, Joel Alvarez, Rafael Fiziev, Iron Michael Chandler still, yes. Money Moicano, I would. Gamrot, Benoit Saint-Denis, actually I'll name you 15. Benoit Saint-Denis, Beneil Dariush, Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gagey, Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira, Arman Tsarukyan, Islam Makhachev, if you count him. I don't know, Tapology saw him, so that was the 15th. Ilia Topuria, 14, sure, whatever. Dan Hooker's a borderline top 15 lightweight. Am I hating a little bit? Maybe. He's extremely lucky, guys. He is. He's extremely lucky he's in the spot. He did not beat Gamrot. Now he's going to fight Arman. Okay. Arman will maul him wrestling. Arman can knock him out quite easily. I mean, I was making comps to Michael Chandler, Dan Hooker, and it's absolutely what this is. Arman's not a huge lightweight. Well, he's a huge guy. He's not tall. Same thing as Michael Chandler. Chandler, you know, worked body, bang up top, caught him. Dug to the body, boom to the head, knocked out Dan Hooker on Fight Island. Arman's going to catch him really early. My pick was Arman first round knockout, but when I saw Inside the Distance at minus 140, I was like, oh, okay, or second round knockout, I picked Arman, sorry. Second round TKO for Arman Tsarukyan. But when I saw Inside the Distance, I'm like, all right, well, Dan Hooker does eat damage fairly well, so okay. That gives us 25 minutes for Arman to finish him and put damage on him. And then, oh, what if he just takes him down and subs him? That's going to be there, guys. It's going to be. And I get it. I am referencing a fight where Dan Hooker got taken down and immediately got submitted with the Kimura by Islam Makhachev. I understand. I still don't think the grappling game is that good at a Hooker because it doesn't really get tested all that much because everyone's just so willing, oh, I'm going to get into a firefight with Dan Hooker and give him a chance. Gamrot tried to take him down. He did. Gamrot was fine taking down Hooker, and they robbed Gamrot of the decision because, oh, fight's in Australia. Gamrot had just as many strikes as him, had more control time, and yet you gave the fight to Hooker because, oh, you're in his home country. Who cares? He's massively overrated. He didn't even win the Paul Felder fight back in 2020. Okay, you can argue Jalen Turner beat him. I thought Hooker won, but come on. He's not that high level of a guy. I'm taking Tsarukyan, and Tsarukyan should absolutely dominate this fight. By submission, by knockout. I think it's second round knockout. I can see the sub too. I'm telling you though, Arman Tsarukyan is on a different level than Dan Hooker. When it comes to, you know, Ilia, I don't know. There's a very clear top 6-ish of the lightweight division. Ilia, Arman, Paddy, Holloway, Gagey, Oliveira. It is a pretty clear top 6 right now, and Dan Hooker is nowhere near that top 6 currently. Arman Tsarukyan, minus 140, inside the distance. This is an easy play if I've ever seen one. Give me Tsarukyan. Folks, that'll do it for our UFC Qatar best bets here on the channel. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back again in 2 weeks for, I guess, in a week from now for our UFC 323 predictions. Merab Dvalishvili taking on Piotr Yan in the main event. Be on the lookout next week for maybe additional Greedo Plays MMA content. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.